I'll now assume that you deconditioned at least one of the first two conditionings. So, I'll omit a lot of the explanation you heard there and just take you through the process. This conditioning, fear associated with people putting their attention on me, is not as common as the first two. People who have the 19th belief, it's dangerous to have people put their attention on me, almost always have this conditioning. This belief and conditioning, along with a few others, are responsible for social anxiety. People who are uncomfortable in social situations, meeting new people, and even one-on-one conversations are said to have social anxiety and probably have this conditioning. If this is a description of you, keep going and you'll get rid of that problem. If this conditioning is not applicable, please click Next Conditioning to go to the final conditioning, which is very common. Now, let's get rid of conditioning number 3. Fear associated with people putting their attention on me. If you do experience some anxiety when people focus on you or put their attention on you, I've got some good news for you. This situation does not inherently cause anxiety. If it did, everyone who had people putting their attention on them would feel anxiety. And not everyone does. So you've been conditioned to feel anxiety in that situation. Don't worry though. You're going to decondition people putting their attention on you so it no longer causes anxiety. Right now. If you're like most people, you probably first experienced anxiety associated with people putting their attention on you when you were a child. What happened? Can you get that if your parents usually didn't pay attention to you, and on the rare occasions they did, they were annoyed or angry at you, you would get conditioned to feel some level of anxiety whenever anyone gave you their full attention? Is that clear? When your parents were giving you their full attention, and you experienced their anger or annoyance, how loved did you feel? Not very, I suspect. And because the people you depended on for your very survival seemed to be withdrawing their love, you equated that with possible abandonment. In your young mind, that meant no survival. In other words, anger meant no love meant abandonment, and abandonment meant dying. You didn't consciously think all this out any more than Pavlov's dog did, but that's how the subconscious conditioning took place. Can you see it was this perceived threat to your survival that caused the fear? It had nothing to do with people giving you their full attention. And because you never distinguished between the real cause of the anxiety, a perceived threat to your survival, and people giving you their full attention, which just happened to coincide, people putting their attention on you got conditioned to produce anxiety, just like the ice cream cone. But is it clear now, it wasn't people giving you their full attention that produced your anxiety, it was the meaning you gave to the way your parents acted when they gave you their full attention. Once you make this distinction, people focusing on you will no longer cause you anxiety. I know that sounds too simple, too easy, but just stay with me, and I promise this will work. It's worked tens of thousands of times. To understand even more clearly that people giving you their full attention never caused your anxiety, imagine right now a childhood situation where your parents were giving you their full attention and you experienced being loved by them unconditionally. Imagine them smiling and acknowledging you for something you did. Take your time imagining this. Use the pause button below if you need more time. Just now, as you imagine mom and dad giving you their full attention, and you experience being loved by them unconditionally, as you imagine them smiling and acknowledging you for something you did you just feel anxiety? I don't think so. And if you didn't experience anxiety in this childhood situation when people were totally focused on you, do you think you would today? Doesn't seem very likely, does it? Now close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then let it go. In your mind's eye, imagine a situation in the future that's never happened before, in which people are giving you their full attention. Right now, as you imagine it, do you still feel any anxiety? Say your answer out loud. You don't, do you? Please open your eyes. Once you clearly make the distinction between people putting their attention on you, which didn't cause anxiety, and the meaning you gave to the way mom and dad acted when they put their attention on you, which is what really caused the anxiety, people putting their attention on you will no longer produce anxiety. Now, either click on the next conditioning button and go to the next conditioning, or exit this program. Then make a note to yourself when you plan to return to complete this program.